you have put in just $1, it's go to like $10,000 or whatever. So yeah, what I'm trying to get at is to alleviate your concern to some degree, that you need not worry so much that that you are in a sector which is going down or anything like that. Oil and gas is going to stay for a long, long time. World is going to be running on it even 100 years from now. Take that from me. The reason why India is not considered a certain a good place for oil and gas has to do more with the politics of it. We were the first country to have found oil. We have some wonderful basins, where there is, but yeah, for various reasons we couldn't go ahead with the exploration and production of oil, and that politics still hampers, from what the other countries are. So coming to the sector, yes, it's always going to be there. Oil and gas and the broader energy market will always be there. It's just it's just physics. The universe will always be following some laws of physics. You cannot ever say that there will come a time when physics will be irrelevant. So don't have a worry about that. Coming to your specific, this thing. So you need not bother too much that yes, perhaps I'm liking only this field. There may not be enough jobs in it. You have to develop yourself as a professional who has a good conceptual understanding of pretty much every discipline. If you want to come up in life, yes, you may not have strengths in it, I understand, and you may not be liking it that much, but you have to have a good conceptual understanding. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you briefly, and so yeah, I can take your questions, anything you want. Yeah, sure, why not? Why not? That's what I said, no? Warren Buffett didn't have an MBA in oil and gas, right? But he owns some of the finest energy companies, okay? So he made a bet on Burlington Northern Santa Fe, that's a BNSF, is a railway company. Nobody was buying railways in the United States. Railways were dead for like 50 years. And although railways played a huge part in the US economy, post, I don't know how many of you guys are aware of the American economy post-Civil War 1861 there, but railways were the reason why United States became an economic superpower. So railways hauled resources from remote parts of the United States, they brought it to the East Coast. So they played a huge part, but post-1940s, President Eisenhower, after Second World War, he built a huge interstate system. So railways really fell out of favor for vehicles and all. Nobody was looking at railways, but in this BNSF was really selling at a deep discount price. He made a bet on it. He put in, I guess, $12 billion or something. He returns like 3 times of it. And primarily because they were hauling a lot of coal and oil and gas. You knew that. So there are some very deep fundamentals that he's very good at. And he pushes his everything behind it. Passion, money and all. And they come true. So yes, I know it's very hackneyed. Everybody says, follow your passion, follow your passion. And I know there are some very real concerns. Some of you might be having, financial obligations. You want to, settle down, various things. But the way I look at it, it has to be an overlap of your interest and what are your, material desires in this world. So you have to see what is it that really drives you in the morning. And if you for a second ask yourself, okay, if I absolutely don't get paid for it, would I still be doing it? Okay. If the answer is yes, if the answer to that question is yes, then go for areas in it which has very good pay. So that way you're working something at which you really love and you're getting paid a hell lot for it. Okay. So it has to be an intersection of what are your interests and your financial ambitions. So yeah, it's very easy for me to say, yeah, forget about this, go for your passion, passion is everything. Then you have placement day coming, then you see here which company is paying more. Okay, to hell with passion, yeah, 20 lakhs ETC, man, that counts for everything, I paid my passion in it. So that doesn't really work, I know that, human nature doesn't you got to see, yes, these are some things which interest me. You know, passion again is a very generalized term. You build your passion over a period of time. When you were like 6 or 7, my passion was only cricket. I never used to think anything beyond cricket. I used to sleep with a cricket bat. So I thought world outside cricket is completely useless. So yeah. So I hope I have answered your question. Okay. So energy is something which has a lot of general management in it. Okay. So there are a lot of people who have moved, you know, doing brilliantly in energy who are not from energy background. So that's very good. Yeah, please.
Sir, during your 2009 tenure at SPM, what was the daily schedule routines? How much you was trained during those MBA days, and how much extra you had during those MBA days, except for curriculum studies? Can you throw some light on that?
Yeah, again, varies. No 2 days are the exact same, but yeah, morning. You have now an excellent football ground. I used to go for a run over there or some gym. Then we had classes. So our day was pretty packed. If it was not some college work or something, I would try and read around. I used to love reading around energy and finance and international news, geopolitics always excited me. So geopolitics around energy always. So depends. No 2 days are the same. Some days are more busy than others. Some nights you didn't get to sleep because it's so packed. I suppose you guys are all working hard as well, so it's quite apparent. Yeah. So, yeah.
As per current industry needs, what kind of skills do you really require from graduates like us? Because we need to, we should come up with some new software like that or something, or we should completely focus on the basic understanding. What kind of things do you expect from today's graduate for MBA for energy sector?
You need to have a good, as I said, a conceptual understanding of all fields which affect energy, and that's primarily as to what drives the demand growth in various geographies. And as far as specific tools are concerned or skill set is concerned, that depends on what kind of a job you are in. Perhaps you are in a job where SAP is required because it's too much into logistics, managing logistics on a pan-India scale or something, so you need SAP for that. Yes, that's a decision that you have to make to do a job productively. Okay. But to move ahead in your career, you have to have that clarity, a conceptual clarity as to what is this world about, where are the major demand centers, where are the major supply centers, what's the interplay between various forces, and how is this whole, the whole game structured, so to speak. So what you should be focusing on is really understanding, okay, at least a few conceptual clarity on how these things work. How's the political economy of various countries, for instance, which has a big influence on the energy markets. Okay, so by political economy I mean, for instance, every major company, oil and gas is either an NOC or otherwise it's an American. Okay, and because in the United States, the oil that you drill out of your ground is something which you own, which no other country allows. You guys know, and that's why the shale industry, took off like anything. So that's really a political economy part of it. Okay, so you have to have an understanding of what is the political economy of various geographies and why United States, Canada, Mexico have an advantage in this case. So Saudi Aramco, again, it's an NOC. All the Middle Eastern countries, the companies are NOC. So what you should really be focused on is an understanding of how the world economy works. Okay? Because energy market is driven by world economy. So to understand how the world economy works, you have to first understand various political economies of various subsets. What are the major key driving factors in those economies? Get an understanding, read the international news section of the newspapers, subscribe to it. Just have, spend some time on it, 30 minutes in your day. See how it affects the energy markets. People believe, generally have the apprehension, oil is only transport, it's only airplanes, cars, and, they don't really look at the petrochemicals part of it. The world is plastics, specialty chemicals, petrochem, and they're going to play an ever-increasing role. All these oil companies, they are looking into it. Earlier, petrochemicals were not that big of a profit margin. But now, companies are looking into it. So you have to have a good conceptual understanding and clarity of it.
financial side, it's not that great. Do you see that changing over the next 5 years or something? Because the innovations that we're getting in the solar sector are something which is unprecedented, but we still don't have a structure in the market, let's say, for the solar market. As an MBA graduate, the sector is very appealing, but when I see the financial side of it, it's not that much. Do you see that changing over the next 5 years, or is it going to take gradual time?
It's very difficult to predict, with such precision that, something drastic will happen over 5 years. But the way I see solar sector is that, yes, it has immense potential. It is something like where automobile industry was in 1905 or something. And, at that point of time, what many people don't realize was that at least there were 40 odd companies. Ultimately, only Henry Ford made it out alive. And he monopolized the market, and every single automobile which is in the world is some variant of the Henry Ford Steam Mobile. Okay, so Model T, sorry. Yeah. So what's going to happen, and what is my personal opinion, is that there's going to be some consolidation which will take place in solar industry 3 to 4 years down the line. You had companies like Solendra and Han Energy which have gone through bankruptcy, and many of these big investments won't fructify because there is of course a lot of R&D which is going on in the solar panel and all, but it's still not reached that stage where you can actually use it as a substitute for anything meaningful. Where solar panels are used is for low voltage electronic lighting. It's good for charging your mobile phones, some LED. You cannot run factories on solar. You cannot run trains on solar. It's not good for thing. And yes, in off-grid, it's going to play a huge role. So meanwhile, battery technology is expected to develop 5-6 years down the line. You may have a company which gets a hold on the solar manufacturing and battery technology. That company could become a monopoly. Yes, I'm saying it's very speculative, but that's the direction it's going to take. You'll have 2-3 big players in solar, or maybe 10 years down the line, only one big player in solar will remain. So that's going to happen. Yeah. So
the industry is very much dependent on subsidies right now, and we see the Indian market. So that might just have a growth because government is taking time to actually take subsidy. The volatility is there, so it's not that big of a sector from an MBA perspective.
you just give me 1 second.